Hello, welcome back to my next video on Vedic astrology. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the astrological combinations that would help a person become a film actor. What are the houses in the horoscope that go into the making of an entertainer? The most important house is, of course, the fifth house. The fifth house in any horoscope deals with entertainment. If the fifth house lord has any connection with the 10th house, because the 10th house is connected to one's profession or livelihood, or if the fifth house is connected to the 11th house in any way, the 11th house being the house related to fulfillment of desires. The person who makes it to the top must also have Dana yogas in his chart. Dana yogas are wealth yogas. Otherwise, if a person has only the combinations of being the entertainer, he may be an entertainer, but he may not make it big. So it's a complex task because you have to look at it from several point of view, because an entertainer is different from a superstar. A superstar is someone who has a big fan following. So you must also search for astrological combinations that are related to what is called as name and fame, the attraction, the mass attraction. If I'm going to look into all these aspects in this video, then this video is going to be very long. So I would like to just focus on just a simple point so that within a few minutes you can assess whether a horoscope has the potential for making a person an actor. We will quickly run through a few horoscopes, and in most cases I may not be able to reveal the names of the actor. I may reveal the names of those actors whose horoscopes are already on the internet. What's the use of talking theory without any practical? So let's get started. In front of you, you see the horoscope of a very famous lady who became an actress at a very tender age and ruled the industry for all through the Venus Dasha. Venus is the lord of the fifth house, the house of cinema. And Venus is always the main planet as far as cinema goes. And this lord of the fifth house, the lord of entertainment or cinema, occupies the 10th house in her horoscope. So she became a very popular actor, and this Venus is also exalted. So you have the case of a fifth lord in the 10th exalted, and also having given rise to a yoga called Panchamaha Purusha Yoga, which is a group name, and the specific name of this is Malavya Yoga, which represents elegance, artistic talents, and attraction. So let's move on to the second chart. Here we have Leo as the ascendant, Simha Lagna. That's why house number 1 is over here, and this is the fifth house. In the fifth house, you find two planets. Venus. Venus is the lord of the 10th house, the house of profession, and Venus is anyway the Karaka or the significator of cinema, and the lord of the 10th occupies the fifth house of cinema. Mercury, the lord of the second house, the lord of the 11th house. This is income and this is gain. This Mercury is also in the fifth house. So this is a very peculiar horoscope because the 10th and the 11th house lords, and the second house of course, but the formula that we discussed in this video is the connection between 10th and 11th. So let's stick on to that. So 10th and 11th together occupy the fifth house. Jupiter has an indirect way of connecting to this formula. By being the fifth lord, he owns this place. So he is the owner of the fifth house of cinema, who sits in the seventh, wherefrom he looks, with his fifth house aspect, he looks at the 11th house of fulfillment of desire. So the lord of the fifth is still having a connection with the 11th house. This is the horoscope of superstar Rajinikanth. And as expected, it was in the sub-period of Venus he got his first breakthrough. And each time Venus came back in a different dasha, he moved on to the next level. The third horoscope that we are going to discuss belongs to superstar Amitabh Bachchan, and the ascendant is on Aquarius, Kumbha Lagna. So the lord of the fifth house of cinema, Mercury, is in the 8th but exalted. The lord of the 10th house of profession, they both have come together and occupies the 8th house. So this is a very peculiar horoscope where the Lord of the 5th and the 10th house is not occupying any of these houses, but instead they have come together and occupies another house where Mercury is exalted. Mercury gives rise to a Viparita Raj Yoga because Mercury is the Lord of the 8th in the 8th. The double bonanza is that it is also exalted and it is with the 10th Lord. The very fact that this happens in the 8th house of danger to life, etc., has taken the superstar Amitabh Bachchan through various difficult times. So now let's discuss the situation of the 11th house Lord. The 11th house Lord is Jupiter, and this Jupiter is in the 6th sign and exalted. So the 11th Lord is exalted and has just missed the 5th house. We wish it was in the 5th house. I've already explained in a previous video that Jupiter is not in the 6th house in the Bhava chart. It is actually in the 5th. So we once again have the connection between the 11th house Lord and the 5th house. So let's search for the horoscope of Shivaji Ganeshan. This is the North Indian chart, so let's click south. This is the horoscope of Shivaji Ganeshan, and the ascendant is Kumbha Lagna. The Lord of the 10th is Mars, and that Mars occupies the 5th house of cinema. So let's do one more horoscope, and this is the horoscope of a very popular actor of Tamil Nadu, Dr. MG Ramachandran, who not only became a hero, a great hero, but also went on to become the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. In the horoscope, you find that the ascendant is on Kanya or Virgo ascendant, and therefore the 5th house Lord is Saturn, and Saturn occupies the 11th sign, but if you look at the Bhava chart, it is in the 10th house. Even if it was in the 11th, it's good because the 5th Lord in the 11th or 5th Lord in the 10th is the greatest combination for a successful actor. Now let's look at it from the other side. The Lord of the 10th house, Mercury, is in the 5th house. So here you find that the profession, the planet ruling profession, is sitting in the house of cinema, and the planet that is ruling cinema or entertainment is sitting in the 10th house. So you find that there is a Bhava Parivartana between Mercury, the Lord of the 10th, with Saturn, the Lord of the 5th. So the formula seems to be working most of the time. Another interesting feature of this horoscope is that if you look at the actual aspect between Saturn and Mercury, the mutual aspect is very strong. So how do you do this on Jagannatha Hora? All you need to do is click on this button in the menu, the view button, and then click on aspect table with relationship. So you get a new window. So this allows you to know the aspects between planets. So here is the aspecting planet. So let's look at Saturn. Saturn is looking at Mercury, ME, at 97. 97 out of 100. The full aspect is 100. And the other way, if you want to look at Saturn, then Mercury, the planet ruling the 10th house of profession, is looking at the 5th Lord, Saturn, at 89 out of 100. This is quite very strong mutual aspect. So whichever way you look, Dr. MGR had wonderful combinations that allowed him to become a great actor and also later on to become a great politician. We have come to the end of this video. In case you have any doubts, please type them out in the comment section, and whenever I find the time, I'll answer them for you. See you soon in my next video.